Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play some more Death is Sunhaired. It's a Yandere dance advantage .io with a Yandere vampire. Let's begin. The longer you intrude through this heckish storm, the angrier you get. Your clothing is completely soaked through the southern fabric, making your arduous journey even harder, impeding your movement while a chill sinks into your bones. It's a fool's errand to even attempt this, but you have no other choice. Even if you were to turn back, it would take you just as long to return to the village than to arrive at your intended destination. And if you were to show your face without any news, if you had to tell them that you simply gave up, the surviving residents of Zarshu have forgiven you for so much in your life. I could wait. Zash. Okay, I'm just gonna say Sash. Forgive you for the surviving residents of Sash have forgiven you for so much in your life. But you know that they would never forgive you for that. You could not survive being a wife. With your parents long dead and in the ground and your own health frail, you could have been a heroine of those dramatic novels, fading every which way. But in a village like you're from, even the sicky orphan girl is meant to pull her weight. Which is a lot, though. You cooked and cleaned and helped manage the household of the family who took you in after your parents' deaths. This alone took up much of your energy. How could you even manage to be a mother on top of that? I mean, it's up there if it's a vampire, Yandere vampire, I'll do that. So far, you have turned down every man who asked for your hand in marriage. They didn't know how long that would last. And what mattered to those husbands, whether or not you could survive carrying a child? With your health, going on this journey was a dangerous idea in the first place, even without the storm. But if anyone could have resources to stop the plague sweeping through the village, it would be the lord of the land. Went. A squall of wind hit your chest, nearly making you double over in pain. It takes all the strength you have to keep walking forward. With each movement, the storm intensifies, slowing your movement even further. But you will not give up. You can't, no matter what. You keep putting one foot in front of the other, trying to focus on the repetitive motion rather than the terrible sensations around you. You raise one foot, but move it forward, put it back down, then repeat with another foot, and again, over and over again. You're so immersed in this feeling that when one foot gets stuck in the mud or on a tree root or something, it completely shocks you. When you fall to the ground, your vision goes completely dark. Something's off when you next come to. You're not laid flat on the mud. You're in a bed, much softer than the one you're used to. It's comfortable, and comfort is something you've known little in your life. Feeling it now simply strange. You're warm and the blanket's slaughtering you, but there is also something cool touching your hands. When you finally open your eyes, you can see a man staring down at you. A desperately love-struck expression on his face. Elizaveta, you're finally awake. I've been waiting for this day to come. It's me, your husband, Vasi. You blink once, twice, 3 times, hoping that things would make sense. They do not. First of all, your name is Lion. He doesn't even know your name. He's talking as if he if you've known each other for a long time. You must have me confused with someone else. My name's YN. Your voice is scratchy in your throat. You just have to hope that he can hear you, because you don't think you can get any louder without straining yourself. I'm sure you must be disappointed, looking for one woman and ending up with another. The man smiles at you, as if he had anticipated your reaction. I'm not surprised that you do not remember me. It's been so long. I think even the most devoted wife would lose a few details eventually. But I know you very well. Your hair, your eyes, your skin. You're her splitting image in all ways that matter. If you weren't so ill, you'd practically be her duplicator. This man seems to have left reality behind a long time ago. This stays wrong. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. I don't know you. We've never met. I can't be Elizaveta. You are. You might have different memories now, but the matter is not. I would know my own wife. I'm just a peasant from your village, sir. Vashi looks at you confused. Village? The one I came from. You do have the title of the land surrounding this area, do you not? Yes, but now that you're here, you don't need to worry about the dreadful place anymore, do you? Don't talk about my village like that. You might not have one to take responsibility for it, but your village as much as mine, if not more so. Any shortcomings we have can be laid at your feet. You, my dear, have no shortcomings at all. But I do understand what you are trying to say. Vashi looks away from you for a brief moment, as if mulling over what next to say. Unfortunately, like you, I have not been in very good health. It has prevented me from carrying out many of the Lord's required duties, and for that I apologize. It seems to be serendipity alone with which brought you to my side. Perhaps the two of us can recover together, and I can help you. Compatriots. You mind my neighbors, not like my neighbors, my family. You'll be able to help us with the plague. The plague? Yes, many of the townspeople have succumbed to it. Do you know anything about it? I'm not sure. Do you believe the ones you have now is your village's plague? No. I've been ill all my whole life. The plague has been spreading. It starts with a rash on the neck, and I never had that. And is it 2 holes? 2 holes on the neck? I see. If it's something like a rash, then most likely it's been spread by pest, isn't it? Rats and the like. I'm gonna say bats. It might be bats that turn into human-like creatures called vampires. On the neck, people were being bitten by rats. When people getting rashes all over on their hands, arms, and legs. I don't know. Someone actually raises his voice at you. Do I seem like an expert in rodents to you? Well, I think the rodent probably scurrying around. The sudden commotion caused a squeak to mate from their side of the room. In the corner of your eye, you can see a quick movement from under the small table. I think I see Master Splinter right there. Yes. Well, considering the condition of this building, it does seem likely that you know more than most nobles about pest. It occurs to you that you haven't seen any servants around. Only Vashi, perhaps he's dismissed them, and they're not in this room. But it also seems likely that he was completely alone. You do have a point. This castle has been seeing much better days. I no longer have the funds to maintain a full revenue of staff. I do not have the energy to clean this entire building myself. I'm afraid this room you're in is one of the least affected areas of the state. Eliza was always much better than me at the day-to-day aspects of running an estate. Since she passed, it's been a struggle to take her reins, so to speak. Are you tired, dear? Huh? You felt fine, but now that you think about it, it's a struggle to keep your eyes open. In fact, she moves a hand to tuck a lock of your hair behind your ear. You don't have enough strength to bat him away, so you let him. I will return when you're ready. Sleep well. The night you were blessed with a miracle of dreamless sleep. It gives you a sense of familiarity that's been missing from your journey of recovery in this castle. All your life, your sleep has been crumbled by either dreams or nightmares. And while sometimes you were jealous of the nighttime adventures others have, usually you are glad to not be haunted by imagined ghosts. You can't tell how long has passed, as there's no clocks, and only dim red light surface the room. Was the sun setting or rising? Oh, is this in there? Next to you, says Vashi. A servant stands at the door. Oh, he does have a servant? But the area is so shadowed that you barely tell there's a person, or anything else about them. Are you feeling better now, my dear? Putting aside his unwielding affections for a moment, you take a full accounting of your own health. You wouldn't say you feel strong, so to speak. You rarely do, even in more favorable environments. But thankfully, you don't feel like you were lingering at death's door. Whether it was Vashi who attended to you, or the servant lurking beneath the doorframe, you do have to admit that you are doing much better. Are you feeling better? Okay, this time I'm going to answer bluntly. Yes. I think he was expecting you to say more. A long stretch of awkward silence passes between you. Finally breaks it himself. Do you believe that you're able to walk? I think so. I did bring a servant to help you dress. For us to walk the grounds together, if you're able. The servant steps forward, stepping just enough into the dim candlelight that their features become just barely visible. Even close to you, you have trouble identifying any defining features. She looks down, giving you a quick curtsy. I assure you would be much more comfortable being dressed by a maid rather than myself. Luckily, Elizaveta's dresses should fit you well. All right. You don't have anything else to do, so you might as well accept his offer. It might help you become more familiar with just where exactly you're being held. The maid quickly takes off your bedsheet clothes. Was she the one who put them on you in the first place? Oh, I think it was him. He begins to dress you in one of Elizaveta's old dresses. You expected some kind of grand garment, but instead of a dress, it's rather plain, entirely black in color. The maid assures you that's part of Elizaveta's regular wardrobe, not a morning dress. But otherwise, deflects nearly every question you ask of her. Although now, in intimately close proximity to you, her face seems even less defined. It isn't long before you shoot out of the room in your new outfit, then led along until reaching the grand hall. Hello, Wyan. Do you think you regain enough strength to walk outside? I believe so, yes. It's taken a few moments for you to bounce on your feet again. It must have been over a day since you last walked, but before long, you were moving about naturally. Splendid. If you do feel weak, please tell me right away. I'll carry you. Now I'm gonna question him. Something seems off. Are you sure? I recall you saying that you weren't in a very good health yourself. Vashi smiles at you, a sweet expression, like reenacting an old joke with a dear friend. Oh yeah, I think I know what his ailment is. It's pointy teeth, allergic to garlic, and drinks blood. You're very attentive. There's no need to worry about me. I'm feeling quite well tonight. Even if I weren't, my illness has never practically affected my caring strength. Now come along, the door outdoors awaits. Vashi grabs you gently by the arm, pulling you forward, though his movements are not forceful. You feel it nigh impossible to escape his grip, even if you wanted to. With his free hand, he opens the door, revealing very little. It's nighttime, although barely so. The last dreads of sunlight illuminate the scenery just enough to make out the outlines of our surroundings. Did I take too long to get ready? Oh no, he's a night owl. No, this is a perfect time for outing. It is? Yeah, for a vampire. Oh, I like the little one. Vashi nods as he pats your arm, a clear signal to start moving. Indeed, I know it might seem rather strange to you, but I could take you out during the day. If I could take you out in the daytime, I would. But I can't. You'd probably go, turn into dust and go into the wind. My illness prevents me from going out into the sun and get terrible burns and rashes. I wonder why. Do you also combust into dust? I see. And is that also why you haven't been able to carry out your noble duties? It is a large part of why, yes. It's very difficult to make arrangements that prevent me from going into the daylight. And the rashes are so painful that accidental exposure renders me nearly immobile. Good son. He looks up, his eyes scanning the horizon. The sky is not quite black yet. In fact, it's just about the same color as Vashi's hair. This is about the earliest I can safely go outside. So your timing was perfect. We have the whole night ahead of us if you'd like. Now the sky above is beautiful. The grounds are somewhat less so. As you walk, he tells of a long ago gathering that happened here, when the property was still fit to show to others. Trending lightly along the overgrown pathway, he tells you of a truly marvelous party, shortly after he and Elizaveta married. How long ago did they marry? And how long ago did Elizaveta pass away? How the two of them held hands and laughed with their friends as the sunlight dappled through the trees. At one point, he led you into the ruins of what was once a statue garden, but was now surrounded by family graves. Vashi regales you with the histories of long-dead ancestors that had once walked the land. And then take a guess and say, they're not ancestors. He's the ancestor. He talks so much that he cannot get a single word in. Perhaps he felt ill or weak. He might listen. Otherwise, he seems primarily interested in sharing stories he likely hadn't been able to share with anyone. His verbal tour doesn't come to a lull until sometime later, when Vashi squeezes your arm and slows to a stop. He looks down and you follow his gaze. As your feet stands a gravestone, lit only by the blood moon. A single legible word is revealed. Elizaveta. The stone is heavily weathered, just like the statues, but it's also shown signs of having been intentionally damaged. Below her name, the dates of her birth and death have been roughly carved out, leaving leaving gashes on the mural. Next to the grave is a hole, large enough to fit an adult man. I'm soft. Do I need to get a steak and go stabby like a vampire slayer? This is where my dearest Eliza went rest, and next to it is where I will rest too, if I ever fall to the clutches of death myself. If? Vashi laughs lightly, though that's very little mirth in the sound. A small morsel of dark humor, forgive me, Lion. Sometimes one has to make their own levity when life goes bleak. Yeah, I think because you're a vampire, you live a lot longer. Or you're mortal. He looks back down at Elizaveta's gravestone, staring at resolutely, an uninterpretable expression across his face. I dare say only the most powerful beings could find a way to cheat death. He says nothing else for some time. It occurs to you that if you're willing to interrupt that moment, this may be a chance of finally talk to him. Okay, what happened to the gravestone? Those markers in the grave, where her birthday and death day should be, what happened? It doesn't look lettered like the rest of the stone. Simply a vandal, nothing more. You certainly see your fair share of vandalism in your time, but seems like a strange expiration for the gravestone. The grave sits on the Lord's lands, well tended to as they are, far away from our civilization, from most other civilizations. Why would petty vandals venture this far out, and then risk punishment for defying a noble's grave? And why would they only trip away a date, leaving her name? Look at Vashi, wanting to ask Krimfer, but his darkened expression gives you a pause. He's frowning now, expression more severe than you've seen on him throughout your entire outing. You're not sure they would survive asking him more about the gravestone, but would do anyway. Press for more information. Has it been difficult finding a mason to repair it? We're a family in town with generational mural mystery skills. Perhaps no. Oh, there's his eyes. Vashi cuts you off, curt and decisive. His features look somehow sharper. His eyes seem to glow in a dim light, howling his expression. When possible, contact a mason of renowned skill. This grave deserves more than the uneven etches of a village peasant. Hey, I'm a village peasant. Perhaps a tire refresh is in order. Maybe some grand engravings. A book by her side, maybe. Elizaveta would devour books in a single evening. His icy edges melt, if only slightly, as he quietly commences. How did she die? How did she die? The words tremble out of your mouth like water from a broken dam. I suppose you'll be curious about your past life, wanting to know one's death as well as a life is only natural. You turn and realize he's quite close to you. His face is cast in shadow, except for his mouth, the taut line. You know, I am quite curious about something. When the words scarcely said, Vashi transforms into a blur of black and red, and you feel fingers rip at your scalp, then forcefully shove you forward. Your head hits the tombstone, leaving your vision blurry, in mind dazed. Vashi is also has to be Vashi, right? This mover, you shot body in front of him. Forcefully tilts your head to the side, expose your neck to the moonlight, although shock has left you numb. Forcefully, he tilts your head to the side, expose your neck to the moonlight, although shock has left you numb. You feel a bitter chill as Vashi approaches close to your naked skin. A sharp pain prickles your neck. Your body screams to push Vashi away, to fight, to run, anything, but your lips fail to listen to the pleas of your mind. Heavy, sticky blood flows fully from the punctures, but doesn't rip down your shoulder. Ladder, Vashi angrily drinks it. The graveyard around you fades into nothingness. Faintly, Vashi can be heard, his voice fuzzy, unreachable, despite still being so close. Oh, Liza, if only you had not been so frustrating. Our ill-fated cycle continues. Next time will be different. No matter how long I must wait, we will find each other again. And then the curse will be... His voice goes farther and farther away until you're alone in the sea of darkness. Numbness overtakes you. Your tight frame, your senses lost you. Your last thought is the urge to bitterly laugh, dying upon Elizaveta's grave. Okay, and that was actually our early end for Death is Sunhaired. I'm actually going to try to do it where it's every single route is going to be its own video. So if you like my content, please consider subscribing. If you're ready, comment down below, like the video. I'll see you guys next time.